Hi everybody and welcome to Get Messy's Wine and Wine Night. We're going to be doing a lovely spring painting today and I'm going to get out of the way so I could start showing you how to do your background. So first thing we're going to do is, like I said, the background. Usually when you're painting you work your way from the background to the foreground. So we're going to just start taking your blue and see how I'm going all around in these different directions. You're just going to fill out this whole corner here with some blue. Make sure you use enough on your brush to cover in any little white spots, and also don't forget to go around the sides and the top and the bottom and all over. It gives it a finished look when you hang it on your wall. So as I go, I want to kind of hurry this up a bit. It really shouldn't take you too long to do. Just glop that paint and in quick motions, I'm just filling in these spots. So as I want to go towards the corner here, I'm going to start adding in some pink. So see how I have a little bit of pink on the tip of my brush. See how that's blending and you're creating even a purple throughout there? Going with the blue. This is the best part. You learn how your paint works with your paintbrush. So at this point, just go back and forth between your pink and your blue. So if you do it quickly enough, the pink will start to mix in with the blue before it dries. So all I'm doing is going back and forth, making my way down the canvas, going back and forth between the pink and the blue. So everybody who picked up their kits should have blue and the pink. Like I said, just follow around, kind of play with your color, see where it goes. But you do want to do it fairly quickly because it will dry quickly. So I'm just making my way all the way down. Can't forget the sides. So see how you're creating even a purple as you go? But you don't want to blend it too much to the point that you're creating just purple. You still want to see the pink and the blue and the purple. Super quick, super easy. And just play around with it until you get that desired look that you like. I'm going to move that light a little bit so you can see. The glare of the paint can sometimes be in the way. Back and forth motions, up and down. So when you're done filling this in how you would like, and like I said, I'm just randomly pulling that color and playing with how it blends. Add in some pink in here. I really like this combination. It really brightens it up. Another thing is you really should know when to stop. Sometimes this is the hard part because you could end up blending it so much. So I have that filled in there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to add in a little bit of white. So I'm just going to give that a second to dry while I get some white paint here. So I can see it's still kind of tacky. If I turn that light on, you can see. That's how you kind of still want it to be. You don't want it to dry too much because then that white won't blend in. So now I have this white on my brush, and I'm just going to do the same thing. Just randomly flick that white through in random places. Don't forget to extend it. And again, it shouldn't take too long to do. You just keep adding in little bits of white and blending it through very quickly. I kind of like having the brightness of the pink showing through. And the white kind of offers a highlight, probably of when the sun catches it. So again, once you're kind of happy with how it looks, just go along filling in any little cracks or any little spaces that so I really like how this looks. I might add in a little bit of pink here. Perfect. And perhaps a little more white down here. Okay, I'm very pleased with how that looks. I will get a close-up here for you. So at this point, I just want you to let it dry, and so we can go over it with our beautiful flowers. So I'm going to pause right here and just wait for my canvas to dry, and we'll pick it up in a second. Okay guys, so through the magic of the internet, I magically have this now. I kind of went ahead a few steps because this way you can pause it at this point and do this on your own. And then I will continue on to show you how to finish it. So all I did was, once my background was dry, I went in with the back of my brush, dipped the back of my brush into the white paint, and just randomly put little stars everywhere. The one thing I do find is if you do too many, it might look like snow. So very randomly, just do a few, and then what you do is you wait for that to dry, and then I went in with a little bit of yellow on the back of my brush and just kind of went over my little bits and just kind of blended it a bit into so it looks like it's glowing. So once you finish your stars and they dry, all I want you to do is, with a small brush, is dip, when we do a painting, the background, like I said earlier, we start first and we work our way to the foreground. So obviously the background is going to be a little bit darker. So here is where we will do these leaf things. And so what we do is dip into your black and do a little line. So all you do is just go straight down, do them randomly, black line, all the way around. And like I said, we're just doing these dark ones in the background. Once you do those lines and they dry, you could take your brush, and this is where you use your brush shape. So depending on which brush you have, your petals will be a little bit different. So dip into your black, and I want you to just press your brush down. This will create this shape. So you just press down with your brush and then follow that line, doing the same thing, repeating, and keep adding to your brush. Just keep going down like this. Once you've filled in all that dark greenery in the background with the black, then I would dip into the dark green, or the green that you have. While your black is still kind of wet, if you follow it with the green layer on top, you'll blend that black and green and you'll get that dimension. So once you finish that dark area in the back. Now we move on to green. So just start filling in, same thing, do your little lines with the green, creating these overlapping look, and do the same thing. What I did this time was I just kept them closer together as I went down to make them look slightly different. So you just go ahead and go down with your green. Once you've filled in your green all over, same thing with the black and the green, we just add a little bit of yellow. So add yellow to your brush. You don't even have to clean your brush. You just keep that green on it, add some yellow to it, and follow up. Go right on top of what you already did. So once you have that done, and you have it to how you want it, then you have all caught up with me. So I'm going to move on to the next step. And what the next step is probably a little more greenery. I just looking at it here now, and I think I might want to add a little bit more just to fill in some of these gaps. So all I did was pull a green line down. Let's see if I can move my light so you can see. Okay, so all I did was put my line down here. So I'm going to dip into my green, and I'm just going to lay my brush. And this is all I'm doing all the way down. Just like this. And then I'm just going to flip to the other side. It's very hard to do left-handed, forgive me. Just trying to get out of the way of the camera. And all I'm doing is just making my lines, laying the brush. Just like that. Then I'm going to come with my yellow, a little bit of yellow on the tip of my brush. And because this is still wet, now it's just going to blend that yellow and green perfectly. And what I think I do is follow where your sun is. So obviously the tips of these are going to get sun, so you want a bit more yellow at the top. So once you've filled in a couple of spaces like you like, I think I'm just going to go over some of these a little bit more pronounced, like that. Perfect. All right, so with a nice clean brush, we're going to move on to the red flowers. So you should get to your red, making sure after you wash your brush that you dry it off in a paper towel. So with this red, all I did was put a little bit of red on the top of my brush. And again, it doesn't matter what shape of brush you have. You just work with that shape. So I think I would like to put a nice flower right about here. So I'm going to create this shape. Pretty easy. Just like that. Probably hard for you guys to see with that light, so here we go. So as you can see, let me see if I can move a little bit closer. See that petal shape? So this is all we need. You're just going to do like a red petal shape. And then I'm just going to add a bit more. And I'm just making a flower shape. So now as my color is still there, I'm going to take a little bit of pink now that my color hasn't dried, and I'm going to start blending that pink. A little bit of pink. There we go. I'm going to give you guys a close-up now so you can see. Just as easy as that. Nothing to it. Okay, so now we're going to do that again. Where do I think I want another one? I'd say maybe right here. So again, I'm just going to make that petal kind of shape. As big or as small as you want to. And then I'm just going to come up this way. And this way. And again, a little bit of pink on the tip of your brush. And then I'm just going to kind of blend that in. I'm kind of glopping the paint because this is what gives it some definition. Not too bad. So then I'm going to do this in a few more places. I will do the couple more so that they're done and dry so we can move on to the next step. So if you want to pause here with me and go ahead and do a couple more of those red flowers. Welcome back, everybody. So as you can see, I filled in a couple of more flowers. We do the buds first just because it's easier to place them than the stem. So once you've figured out where all your flowers are going to be, I highlighted them with between the pink and the red and the white, and just played with the color, just like the blending in the background, and just play with that color and blending to see how it works. And then what we do is dip a little bit into your green and a little bit into your black, like this. There we go, a little bit of black, a little bit of green. So right here, I'm going to take this flower first and go from here and create my stem for the flower. So then what I'm going to do is just attach that stem to the base of the flower. So you're going to go ahead and do that stem with all of the flowers that you've done, and then I'm going to go ahead and do that too, and I'll come back to you and we will do the yellow flowers. Alright, so now we have the stems put on our beautiful pink and red flowers. So next we're going to do some yellow flowers. So what I want you to do for this, make sure you have a nice clean brush and dab it off into your paper towel. You don't want it too wet. You're going to dip into your yellow, and I want a fair amount on your brush there. Same thing with the pink and the red flowers there. We're going to go ahead and pick out where you want some yellow flowers. So right here I think I want one. I'm going to put the brush flat and then kind of twist it. And that's it. Kind of twist it. I'll move it close there so you can see right here. So same thing, glopped it onto my brush. All I'm going to do is place my brush and twist. It's kind of hard to do here on this angle, so give me a sec. Okay, I'm going to place my brush and twist. So see, you're pulling all of that color, and same thing here. Just kind of let that dry. So I want you to go ahead and put in your yellow flowers wherever you kind of think you might want them. And I'll do mine and I'll meet you back here in a second. Alright, so as you can see, I added a random yellow flowers everywhere. All you have to do next is, again, with the back of the brush, just like we did these little dots, I want you to dip into your black and dip into your green. So you should have black and green on the back of your brush. And all you do is put a little dot in the middle of all of these flowers. Green and black. The reason why you put these two colors on here is because they will give themselves a highlight and shadow without you having to really do anything. So then you're going to go ahead and do the same thing. Give all of these little stems. So keeping the yellow on my brush, I am putting a little bit of green on there. And I'm just going to give all of these some stems. All of these yellow flowers. Again, just attaching. Now all of my flowers have these beautiful stems. Okay, so clean off your brush really well. Make sure you clean it really well because we're going to use white next. And we're going to do a couple of daisy kind of flowers. So using just your white, like this, I'm just going to pick different random places. I think I'm going to fill in a couple of spots down here. And all I'm going to do is make these petal shapes. All around in a circle. So same thing, I want you to go ahead and do these shapes of the flowers. I will get a close-up for you again so that you could see kind of this flower shape. And when I come back, we will continue. And welcome back again. So this time I randomly put some white flowers everywhere. And what I'm going to do now is, with the white still on my brush, I put a little bit of that green on there, and I'm just going to pull stems down from these white flowers, just like we did with the other ones. Just randomly. And again, I don't want mine too cluttered, so this is probably the most flowers I'm going to do, but if you want to do more white or more red or more yellow flowers, that's totally up to you. So now that I have these little stems, and make sure they look like they're attached to the flower, bringing it down. Now I'm going to take my yellow on the tip of my brush, and I'm going to give my flowers little centers like this. It's my kitty. She really likes to come and paint with me. So now I've added yellow to all of those flowers. And I'm going to go back in again with a little bit of white, but this time I'm going to add a slightly little tiny bit of dark. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the one side of my white petals so that they're slightly darker, adding a shadow. And once I'm finished, I will do a close-up so you guys can see. Yes, girly. Just kind of causing some shadow. And if you find it's too dark, just go in with a little bit of white again. And play with those, blending those two colors. Black with the white until you get the shade and highlight that you like. And if you mess up, you really don't have to worry about it, because all you have to do is just let it dry and go back at it. If something comes out too dark or not right, don't even worry about it. So I'm just causing shadow wherever I think we might need some shadow. You can also keep layering your white and it'll give it a brighter look. So if you want to brighten up your white, I'd suggest making sure your brush is completely clean and then go in with just white. And now I'm adding some extra highlight on top. And just kind of play with it, play with your flowers. So there we go. Again, my painting showing you guys how to do this. I hope you guys had fun. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for the next Wine and Wine night. So again, play with all of your colors, learn how everything works, and use your brush to your advantage. Hope to see you back here with Get Messy NL for the next one. Enjoy. Don't forget to post your pictures so we see what they look like. That's my favorite part. So exciting.